Morning. True story. The first song of one of my favourite bands, Ex Ambassadors, that I heard was Unsteady, and it just came up on my feed now. And I've done plenty of reels about those guys and some of their songs. Great work. That song is about belonging and homelessness, what we call homelessness. I want to take this opportunity. I am taking this opportunity. Clearly, I've demonstrated that. Too funny. To speak about that subject for all of us. That song is a beautiful depiction of how children can grow up and experience what we usually call homelessness. And it starts often in the home, usually with the parents, right? The reason I'm mentioning that is having always wanted to help humanity. Experience is the greatest teacher. When we play our cards right, and having had an experience of that, been living in my car nomadically for 12 months now, almost to the day, possibly to the day, not quite, and a brief period in 2024 for 6 weeks. As I've shared with some people, homeless people is an identity. To say I am homeless or you are homeless is saying that's who you are, that's an identity. And if we use that term, that identity continues the story that perpetuates that experience. So there's no such thing as homeless people. We're all human and can empower ourselves. And I shared that with somebody in a quote-unquote homeless centre in Melbourne a few months ago, and she listened. The other people there weren't there for the right motives, and they were actually perpetuating the people that they were meant to serve there by just being there for themselves and pretending to be there for those who needed them. That's disgraceful. But what I shared last week with that same young woman, and she remembered me when I looked at her and mentioned what I just said about the identity issue. And what I also added was when we use the term homelessness or homeless, we're actually framing that experience in a negative way by adding the prefix, suffix, but the less part, less. By framing a situation in a negative lens with homeless, we're actually disempowering ourselves, which doesn't help. We've got to empower ourselves and see the suffering, our grief, as an opportunity. That's all for now. Got to keep it under 3 minutes.